Are modular homes better than stick-built homes? Well, that's why we're here to find out. And I'm sure you've heard that the building industry is in a crisis. There is a shortage of skilled labor. There is a shortage of wood that has gone up 255%. It's hard to find land. So how does modular play into this? Well, modular is factory built, and we're going to show you how. So hang on, and we're going to interview Wisconsin Homes. This is Mary Jo at eXp Realty, and we're here with Sean Neistat at Wisconsin Homes, obviously in Wisconsin, and we're going to talk about modular builds. The interesting thing about Wisconsin Homes is, number one, they build a super tight home, but it's modular. It's all built in factory, so you don't lose time with wind, water, storms, and it's even not a new technology. So I have a whole bunch of questions for Shannon, and I bet you do too. So Shannon, tell me, how long have you been with Wisconsin Homes, and what do you do for them?
I'm the general manager here at Wisconsin Homes. I've been here about 20 years.
Wow, that's a long time.
We're actually third generation, so my grandfather started the company. So if you want to go with the last name,
Okay.
We've been here since 1965.
Can you explain that? What got your grandfather into building modular?
Well, they were just excited about trying something innovative, and they built a home and a barn, and worked out real well. They shipped the parts to the site and started an industry.
So, and obviously it's changed, but I understand you've been on the same site for a long time.
Here in Marshville, yeah, we've been here since 1965.
Wow, you know what I found too? There wasn't even a code about insulation until 1965. So that seems to be like a turning point when building codes started to change for the better.
Right. Today, there's a lot of building codes, so we definitely have to pay attention to the regulations.
Well, what I'd like to talk about is what is a modular home and how it benefits you, the public. Can you tell us what is a modular home?
Sure. A modular home is built to the same building codes as what you would think a traditional site-built home would be built, only on site they bring it in board by board and appliance by appliance and build it by little pieces. We take those pieces, we assemble sections of a home in the factory, and then we ship the sections to the basement and set them on the basement. So in a typical ranch home like this, we would build two sections in the factory, ship two sections, set them on the foundation next to each other, and the local builder will just tie the sections together where the drywall needs to come together and the roof needs to be finished.
And the local builder who's working with you also does all the finishings?
Yes.
Okay.
So the end product, unless you really were trained, you wouldn't know the difference between a site-built home and a modular home, unless you, a lot of times, would have to go downstairs to see how it was structurally built.
But when people walk into this house, they would have no idea it's any different than a stick-built house.
No, they wouldn't. In fact, I lived in Maplewood, Minnesota, and built a modular Wisconsin Homes. Went to sell it to move to Marshfield, and the realtor didn't realize it was a modular for a few weeks, and someone noticed it was downstairs, and then she did a whole piece about how modular homes are built better than a traditional home, and that home sold right away.
Well, we went to the factory, and it's just amazing. It's really amazing technology. So what are the benefits of modular?
Well, it's easier on the customer to build for sure, because you'll go in and work with a local builder, order everything about the house with them, and then sit back and wait for it to be built in the factory. So there's much less stress. It's faster because you can be doing the on-site work, building the basement at the same time that we're theoretically building the sections in the home. And so when the basement's done, then the sections can be placed on the basement, and it all just moves along faster.
So you also have an extremely different way of building in that you put your flooring in first, which is normal, but then you build from the out or from the inside out. Is that correct?
Right. We'll build the floor first, and then we'll put the walls on it, and then we'll put the drywall on, and so it's different. When you're on site, you have to build the framing first,
Right.
and it's a different building method, but the building code is the same. So the end product is basically the same thing.
But the end product even has to be tighter and more sustainable than a stick built because you move it.
The different types of building structures, modular is the strongest residential because each section that we ship has to be able to stand by itself and go down the road at 65 miles an hour.
So you don't want your house leaning?
No, it's got to be strong to get there, and then it's picked up by a crane and set on the foundation like building blocks. These ranches are 2 sections, but I have a cabin up north that's 12 sections. So piece by piece, it's put together and then basically just finished on the inside and the outside where the sections come together. But this area right here would come just like that with the appliances, the drywall's done, the ceramic is done. So really you're talking about anything that would have to be done on site, like a porch, and then on the inside where the sections come together. That's what the local builder would be doing. We build all the sections complete, just like this, right in factory.
Right. What is the timeline to build, let's say, this house with 2 sections? How long does it take you to build those 2 modules to be ready to go to site?
Once we have the materials ordered in hand in the factory, it'll go down the production line in 2 or 3 weeks. And then at that point, we here personally put the ceramic in. Once it's outside of the factory, then we can just set it on the carriers and ship it.
Wow, what I find so astounding is you have people who do the walls, who do the drywalls, you have the plumbers, the roofers, all indoors.
Right, and that's a benefit because the workers work in a specific trade, doing it all the time, every day, so it's very repeatable. I think that's an advantage over some of the builders with summer help. You know, people are coming and going and things like that, but we have a pretty sustainable group of workers that are working in the same trade over and over.
Well, for instance, it's 9 degrees outside right now. So how many builders can build in this temperature, you know, like doing the framing and the roofing the way you're doing?
Right.
They just can't.
An advantage to a builder is you can be working with customers designing homes. We can build that home in the winter time, wrap it all up, and store it here until the basement's put in the spring. And then whenever that basement's in, we can ship that home to you. So you could probably, you know, depending on how big of a builder you are, you can sell multiple homes to customers and have them being built in the wintertime. You don't have to wait for the weather to be good. You have to wait for the on-site part. You have to be able to dig the basement and put that in.
Right.
But the homes can be built over the winter.
So, you know, I was really impressed too. You have a whole system for the roofing. And obviously the roofers can be putting on roofs in this weather, but I saw that they're very deep. So they're not shallow roofs, you know, like this, like we usually see. So you have a lot of insulation in the roof itself.
Right. We'll blow in most builders are familiar with blowing in the ceiling insulation. We have that same process here. So you can upgrade to more R value, or you can just go with standard insulation.
Well, the more R value on a day like today, or even when it's hot, it deflects both. So, you know, if it's warm inside, and this house, you have a little heater in here, there's no furnace, and the house is really warm, and part of that is because you have all this deep insulation on the roof, and it'll maintain cooling better as well when you have all of that insulation.
Right. We recommend you use an air-to-air exchanger for our homes because we build them so airtight and so energy efficient. It could almost you don't get the same amount of fresh air from the outside that you would from another type of home where they might let more air in. So we do recommend an air-to-air exchanger.
Absolutely. I think all new
They're
homes
highly
have that.
efficient. To heat
They all
and
have to
cool.
have them because homes are tight. Modular homes are even tighter than the code is. So yes, you want fresh air to come in and exchange all of that. So anybody who has allergies or whatever, air exchangers are an enormous help. And I noticed that you have luxury vinyl flooring. So all of that is the way these homes are built. They are sustainable, but they're also healthy homes. And I think that's important now with COVID, we've all learned a very, very hard lesson that we're in our homes and we want our homes to be healthy because that's where we're spending so much of our time. So the process is somebody gets excited about your home. So they let's say they could contact me or a builder and I connect them to a builder. Then they decide that you have a huge catalog of like 200 floor plans. So they decide about what they would like. They sit with the builder, and then the builder sends the plans back to you. Is that correct?
That's correct. We have building plans, but we're a custom builder, so it's more of ideas. You could take and draw a floor plan that you like or find one, show it to your builder, and we'll draw it in our CAD machine to make sure it's what you want. Mm-hmm. And then once you approve of the floor plan, basically your builder will order that home from us. Just imagine sitting down and ordering a car. You would sit with a salesperson, design that car, they would order it, and you would wait for it to come.
Right.
It's similar in concept.
Yes, except yours is a little more custom. So
right.
Yes. So, and there are so many variations you can have. What's the smallest house that you build?
Well, our standard house is 28 feet wide.
Okay.
Because of the sections that go, but we can go down to 12 feet wide. So that would be a single section could be 12 feet wide.
Okay, so about the size of a container. Yeah. So it could be not technically a tiny home, but a small home.
Could be small.
Right.
Typically, most ranches come in two sections, so that would be 24, but 28 is our standard.
Okay, and the biggest is, you said you have 12? Or 12
well,
modules?
depending on the road limits and things, we'll go 30 wide, and then you have to build the eaves on site because of the restrictions of shipping.
Okay. So, yes, it depends on the road. So, how do you know the roads? Is there software for that?
Well, we have a transportation manager that knows exactly what you can ship and where you can ship it.
And all of that goes into the planning stages.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Well, what else would you like people to know about Wisconsin Homes? Other than you've been around for over 50 years, your grandfather started the company, so it's still a family company, right?
It's still a family-owned company. What I would say is a lot of people are afraid to build a home because it's a lot of work. Modular is much simpler. Your builder can walk you through the steps. They can show you the floor plan. We'll actually draw the floor plans for free here, so we don't charge anything for you to play around with your floor plan, get pricing, figure out your whole budget. Once you pick out countertops and colors, it's very easy.
And they can do most of that online or with the builder.
Right. Cost-wise, it's going to come out about the same because we're building the same building code, we're using the same types of materials. Mm-hmm. But I just think the process is so much easier.
It comes pre-wired, pre-everything. It's all done. And we talked about the inspection. So you build to the state level of inspection. But if there are county overlays or city overlays, then the builder takes responsibility.
Right. Our engineering department builds to the state building codes. The local builders and inspectors are responsible for communicating the local building codes to us, and then we'll build those along with the state building code. Everything then is approved by a third-party inspection agency. So our building plans are sent into a third-party inspection agency, and then they come and inspect the factory to make sure we're building it according to those plans.
So that makes it so much easier for the builder too, doesn't it?
Well, they don't have to worry about a building code then. They know that the home sections are coming built to the proper code.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you for letting us come out and shoot here. It's a world of information, and it's not a new way of building, but it is a better way of building.
It's easier and it's faster, and I believe it's much
And
better.
it's sustainable.
It's sustainable.
Thank you so much, and I hope to talk to you soon.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.